Welcome back in. We turn our attention now to the war in Ukraine, where we have an exclusive interview with the head of Ukraine's GUR military intelligence agency. It goes by the name of Kyrylo Budanov, okay? And that's what we're going to hear about here.
That's right. Our foreign correspondent, Zach Anders, has that interview. Let's watch.
Many Americans believe that the financial assistance that has made its way to Ukraine, billions of dollars, did not get spent properly, that Ukraine still has a serious problem with corruption. What would you say to that?
I don't think the question is that all these billions disappeared in Ukraine due to corruption. I say it again, the issue is deeper here. We need to figure out where this money went and where it settled. And it may turn out that it's not just about Ukraine. When they talk about corruption, well, listen. It exists everywhere. Every country fights against it. If every country fights against it, that at the very least means that it exists in every country.
If President Trump calls President Zelensky today and asks, I need to see a receipt, a ledger, would Ukraine be able to provide evidence of where all this money has been spent?
I remember that about a year ago, we were visited by inspection, I don't remember, probably from Pentagon or the United States government, who should verify this spending, and they've come up with acceptable conclusions. And again, let me repeat myself, it's more of a profound matter. We have to see where the money was channeled, at what price, for example, they were procuring ammunition, who was the real beneficiary, through which countries it was going. I mean, it's clear everybody was covering themselves with Ukraine. That's going to be unanimous, but was it really Ukraine? That's an open question.
Last week, he has even called your president a dictator, and he has criticized the fact that Ukraine has not held elections during wartime. What was your reaction to this in your role and hearing these words come from America, a very close ally?
Well, look, it's a political matter. And how the President of America makes his conclusions, it's only known to him. I personally don't feel well when a president is called a dictator, because that means then we all serve a dictatorship. And I don't see myself as an accessory in a dictator's regime.
There have been reports that suggest Russia may declare victory, potentially as soon as this week. Have you heard this?
We have this information, but it's a matter of interpretation. It didn't say about proclamation of victory. It was to demonstrate that the Russian Federation achieved certain success, that they are coming closer to their goal. There is a saying that the devil is hiding in details, and that the devil is the king of deception. So don't serve the devil. Work with the truth.
What is the truth?
Well, they are not going to proclaim any victory. They're going to state that they are confidently moving toward their victory. But that is not victory. That's a whole different thing.
What the Russian losses have been in manpower?
Well, look, last week, our agents were able to retrieve a summary document dated the end of January 2025. Their Ministry of Defense started calculating their losses because they document their current casualties, but they document across different regions, different armies. There was confusion. According to that document, starting from the 24th of February 2022, the number of the dead was above 300,000. Irreversible losses of Russian Federation are above 300,000. Horrific figures. But that's the reality.
Has, in this last week, the United States changed any of the close relationships with your office? We know that during the course of the conflict, especially at the beginning of the full-scale invasion, the United States shared intelligence and satellite images. Is that still happening?
There were no changes in relations with our organization, but we still have to keep in mind our relations are based on the secret agreements from decades ago, before all the combat movements.
Russia, Vladimir Putin has been leading Russia for more than 20 years. He's a man in his 70s. How much longer will he be in power, do you believe, of the Russian Federation? And who comes next? Is there an idea of who you will be dealing with in the future?
Well, you know, a question of who will be an heir is quite intensely discussed in the Russian Federation. Probably not openly, but behind the curtain there are talks like this. It's all about the fight of the so-called blocs inside the Kremlin, as they put it. But as long as he's alive, nothing else matters.
The concerns of the advance of the Russian Empire in Georgia, in Chechnya, in Crimea, in the Donbass, where does it stop?
We have to recall a famous saying by Putin. In answer to the question, where does Russia end? Russia doesn't end anywhere. Those are their imperialist ambitions, and they will only end when they are stopped. And they are not going to stop anywhere at their own will, nor in Europe, neither in Africa, neither in Latin America. They will not stop on their own.
Thank you, sir.